is when they get fed by people, and then they lose their fear of other people. Now, that's an $800 fine and 2 years in jail down here if you get caught. Now, what happens? We're trappers here in Broward County. There's 7 other trappers besides us. The way that the trappers make their money, since they catch the alligators for free, most of the time they'll sell it to a processing plant for $50 to $75, sometimes even $100 a foot. All right, when they buy it, they package and process the meat and the hide. We're the only trappers here in South Florida, or in Broward County, that use all of our gators that we trap, or we buy off other trappers for educational shows. And by educational shows, we do alligator wrestling. Now, alligator wrestling, what it really is, a barehanded capture technique. It was done by the Native Americans of Florida, like Seminole and Miccosukee Indians. It was how they would go out into the wild 3 or 4 days away from camp, catch an alligator alive for food. Now, to catch him alive, the reason they did it that way is so the meat wouldn't go bad on their way back home. By the 1930s, when they start building roads here in South Florida, like Tamiami Trail and US 27, that's when they started teaching people on the side of the road, showing them how they would catch alligators alive. The people thought they were wrestling the alligators. That's why it got called alligator wrestling. But back in the day, they charged 15 to 25 cents a show. They'd make more money when they stuck their heads, arms, and hands inside the alligator's mouth. Have y'all seen people on TV stick their head inside the mouth? Mm-hmm. Good, you won't see it here. I've been doing this probably for about 7 years, on and off. I've never stuck my head in the mouth. I've never stuck my hands and arms intentionally either. Now, these guys right here, let's see. That guy. Now, I got about 3 or 4 that we just caught about 3 or 4 weeks ago. The rest of them, they've been here for about 3, 4, 5, 6 months at the most. We still got some more back there that we caught in the last few days. We can't use them yet. Now, you guys want a nice docile one, or do you want a wild one?
Wild one.
Which one you want?
Which one do I want?
Yeah.
The battery-operated one.
All right.
Now, do I have a live enough crowd here today to use a wild gator?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, okay, I believe you. My last crowd before you guys, I didn't get a peep out of none of them. I asked them a question, and they looked at me. I was like, you guys understand? This means yes, this means no. They still looked at me. And the guy's like, yeah, we understood you. Yeah. It's them ones you want to snatch through the fence. You know what I mean? Feed them. Now, these guys have very good eyesight on both sides of them, but they cannot see straight in front. And they can see just as good as you can. Hold on 1 second here, guys.
Look at the lizard on the tree.
What's on this?
Right there. You can only see it when it moves because it blends with the tree. You see his red head, though?
And I find an extension for my finger. Sticks heal faster than fingers do. Now, these guys right here, they have lightning speed because they're 85% body muscle.
Damn.
Now this guy, we get him to open up his mouth right there. You can see right there inside of his mouth. You can't see this. Open up for us here, buddy. Trying to show you guys, if you look way back in there, he can't see this. He can see on both sides.
Right.
Everywhere in here, there's little micro sensors. Y'all see the little black spots on the side of his jaws? That's what picks up vibration in and underneath the water. And if anything touches, moving fast, and he's ready again. That was real fast. That's why we want to stay away from that end. Okay? Now, we're going to start out, we're going to grab his tail and try to pull him back here a little bit. Now, the whole reason you grab the tail, well, it's kind of obvious, but there's no teeth on this end.
Oh, my God.
They told me the only thing I needed to be an alligator wrestler down here is a big stick, which is over in the corner, fast reflexes, and a very low IQ.
Are you not worried about the guys behind you?
Yeah, I am. Trying to keep that box from them in between. What?
He's crazy.
Ain't gonna have enough time for that. Hopefully, see, we call them big sticks over there, the medicine sticks. In case I get bit, Chelsea in the back and Mark, they come in, they whack me in the back of the head so I don't feel the thing. It's called a medicine stick. Hopefully they don't have to go on. Now, there's a couple different techniques of catching alligators. This one we're going to try, this is called the front face catch. This is where, using the blind spot right in front of his face, and reach right underneath his jaw. We're going to pick his mouth up. Then we're going to pin over the top like this and hold on tight. And you can hold their mouth shut pretty easily. Opening back up is a big problem if he's clamped onto something. Now from here, we got to figure out how to spin on top of his back. All right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to cover his eyes like this. Y'all see how his eyes sink down into his sockets?
Mm-hmm.
See that? That's a protection from the eyeballs, his second eyelid. I'm going to try to get way away from his head here, and then we're going to sit on top of him. Y'all see the mother eyelids? The ones that go front to back, these are called nictitating membranes, or underwater masks. That's how he sees underneath the water. See the ones go front to back? Now, if you were a lone warrior out in the swamps, you caught your gator alive, now you have to tie the mouth shut. Now, if you tie the mouth shut, oh yeah, you guys wonder why I do this? A lot of people ask, I do this in case I get bit. I know you guys probably aren't going to help me. I don't expect you to. But this is so he don't roll. My arm looks like a piece of Twizzler. Now, they came up with a technique called bulldogging, which is holding the mouth shut between your chin and your chest. It leaves both your hands free to tie a good knot. If this works out, you get a good picture. If it goes the other way, you might get a better one. Let's hope not. That'll work. Oh yeah, also take a picture if you see blood coming out of my throat or my chest. Okay?
Oh.
Suitcase things are still happy, you know. Probably about 180, 190. Heavy. I ate my Wheaties and cornflakes this morning, though. I'm good.
Oh my God.
Now, this makes a good picture. This next thing we're going to show you guys, excuse me, they call this a Florida smile. Florida smile shows all 80 teeth. Now, he has 40 on the top and another 40 on the bottom. That's 80 good reasons to leave alone. Now, they'll live a lifetime of about 50 years in the wild, up to 90 years in captivity. In that lifetime, they'll go through about 3,000 to 4,000 teeth. Every time they lose one or they break one off, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks, they grow a new one back in its place. Now, if you look down his throat, see that little flap? All right, there's little to no throat opening. That little flap's called the glottis, the palatal valve. That traps water from going down and drowning him when he's trying to catch fish and food underneath the water. Now, over the nose, you got little flaps, and right behind the eyes, right here, these are the ears, these other little flaps. These keep water from going inside of his head. If he moves them fast enough, he can also fly, but only like this, not very high. Now, the spikes on the back of his neck, these are called scoops. This is skin-covered bone. Acts as the alligator solar panel. This way heats up his body, helps him digest food, grow, and makes him run very fast. Some people will tell you gators can run 50 to 55 miles an hour. Listen, if that were the case, though, they'd be racing these guys instead of horses down here, right? It's not true. They can run top speed about 15 to 18 miles an hour for about 10 to 12 yards at a time. Have y'all heard? Well, I heard this growing up. You ever heard running zigzags to get away from a gator?
Yeah.
Don't do that. You'll zag and zig right back in the mouth. Okay? Get eaten. Best way to get away. You run straight as fast as you can, and you trip anybody you can in front of you. Get away. Now in Florida, there's been 86 alligator attacks since 1948, with 19 being fatalities. All right, that's it. Today's date. Now every year honestly, we have more people killed down here every year in South Florida by lightning strikes and coconut attacks. You know, coconut attacks are bad. A 15-pound green coconut hits you from like 30 feet, it's going to give you a lot more than a headache. Yes? Now, we're going to try another trick for you guys. We call this one the face-off. I like to call it the close shave. It makes me feel less nervous that way. If you make a mistake, your face can come off. You guys ready to take a picture?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Listen, if I don't make it through this, God bless y'all. Thank you for coming out. Hope you enjoyed yourselves and got some pictures. If I do make it after the show, if you want to sit on a big one, let us know in here. Remember, you can just walk in, ask the guy for the waiver and the key to that gate, and hold him for free. Or he'll have the baby for you. Here we go. Now the top jaw, what we're going to try to do is hold his mouth open with just my chin. The top jaw is connected to the spine. The bottom jaw is the one that moves like a hinge. You can't see anything in front of him, but if he decides to close or some of this water drips in his mouth, my face comes off. Real close shave.
Ooh.
Guys and girls, I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves today. On behalf of myself and the Gators, thank y'all for coming out.